Yes, it's John G. Sutton. Tales from the Jails. I want to talk today about the Governor, Norman Brown, of Strangeways prison. People said, ask me questions about what I know about Norman Brown. Well, I was just a member of the staff, of course, but he bloody hated me for some unknown reason, I wasn't buying into the regime, Didn't seem quite right to me. And I have listen, I'll tell you something. A lot of people say to me, I did 30 years in the prisons and I never saw anything like you did. Yeah, right, okay, well let's start with the first fact. The first day you get your keys and you walk onto the landings and you open the first cell, there's 3 men in that cell. Have a look at the cell. 12 foot by 8 foot. No sanitation. What they're using for facilities, they're using a plastic bucket. They've got no running water, no toilet. There's 3 men in there. The cell was designed in the reign of Queen Victoria for 1 man. So you've been 30 years in the prisons, and on your first day, you're seeing that there is an open abuse of human beings. And you're not seeing that? No. So then you go on and what you see. You see people being booted down the landings, people being slung into the block, people being beaten up by the staff. You don't see that, do you? 30 years and you never see it. Seriously. You see the people like Norman Brown taking 14 days remission off somebody's sentence. What for? Swearing at an officer. Swearing at an officer? Some of the officers were swearing so badly there was nothing less. There was no message. All there was a string of vitriol. Anyway, let me get back to talking about Norman Brown. Yeah, Norman Brown, he was a decorated war hero. He was in the Korean War. He was a proper gentleman, was Norman Brown, but an old-fashioned gentleman. And we're talking about an old-fashioned gentleman in the Edwardian times, in the era of the silent system. When the silent system was based on that no prisoners could speak. I mean, it would drive you mad, wouldn't it? I mean, that's basically what they did at the scrubs down the block. There was no speaking down the block. You weren't allowed. I mean, even I, as an occasional member of staff working down D1 the block, don't speak to inmates. Nope. Order them. Direct orders. And basically you just point. Slobber! Bang up! Get out of that recess! Words to that effect, No past the time of day with them. Certainly not. You wouldn't say anything like, how are you feeling today, If you did that, then you'd get the anguished appraisal of Bootsy or the Chinese money box or Piggy, school bully and all that lot. You don't want that. Believe me. I went down the block one day and this bloody bloke stark naked on the floor and they were taking turns at running up and kicking him. I thought this guy, they'll kick him to death. I mean, these were big bastards, So I ran round the staff and got hold of this guy by the top of his head and ran him into the first open cell and locked him in. The staff were coming at me then. I thought they're bloody mad, this lot. They've got a kind of bloodlust. Next thing you know, it'll be me. So I beat hasty retreat and went and got the senior medical officer. So you better come and have a look at this guy. Kicked his front teeth out, Booted him so hard there was boot polish embedded into his body. So the senior medical officer came and had a look at this prisoner. He said to me, Mr. Sutton, why am I wasting my time here? I can't see anything at all wrong with this man. He looks perfectly fit to me. Kindly just lock him up. Thank you. Turned around and went off. This poor bastard's on the floor, half dead. Next day, they'd falsified all the documents. During the period of darkness, this man was throwing himself around his cell, screaming, banging, clattering, and when we opened the cell in the morning, he was seriously injured. Where did he get the boot polish from? Crazy, innit? Anyway, yeah, I was telling you about Norman Brown. Yeah, he was injured in the Korean War when he was a tank commander, and he was involved. I think he set his tank on fire during the war, and it burned. He was badly burnt, and he did it a long time with the prison service, and he ended up as a number one grade, a grade one governor in charge of Strangeways prison, and he was there all the time I was there. It was quite a long time, about 7 years I think he was there, and he was extremely strict, and he ran it the way he thought that it should be run, with the staff in charge of the prisoners and Norman Brown in charge of the staff. And of course he was one of the boys really, because you used to see him in the club at dinner time necking the Boddington's bitter. And he could put it away. He was only thin, you know. He was only thin, Norman Brown, but he could put it away. Tell you. And he was, he had his own sense of humour, you know. Like 14 days non-associated labour. That's just for looking at Norman Brown in the wrong way. But anyway, I believe he's gone now, despite the fact that he hated me, and you know, he could have done a lot worse. He could have done a lot worse, and at least to a certain extent we were adversaries, but I had a great degree of respect for him because he did it his way. I did it my way, which was totally opposite, you know, but hey, he was the governor and I was just a screw. I'm going to sing to you now. This is for my mate Larry, who's he tells me that he lives at somewhere near called Wentworth, near Rotherham. I've had a look it up. It's a big stately house, so he's obviously Sir Larry. Yeah, Sir Larry of Wentworth. He probably rides around on a horse in armour, yeah, with a feather in his hat. Chasing the sheep over the moors of Rotherham and Yorkshire, because it's in Yorkshire, Rotherham, you know. Only just in Yorkshire, but it is in Yorkshire. So what do you like, the black sheep or do you like the white sheep, Larry? Anyway, this one's for you. He suggested, you see, that I sing a comedy song. So it's obviously a comedy voice that I've got. Picked up on that, eh? Song dinger now, eh? Yeah, don't forget, folks, you get the book. Now, it's no good pretending that you've not seen it. There it is, HMP Manchester's John G. Sutton, that's the name. You can get it on Amazon. HMP Manchester Prison Officer. Come. Don't let me stop you now. Hurry away, get the book. Yeah, here we go, I'm going to sing you a song now. This is a song by a guy who I deeply admired for his crazy sense of humour. This guy used to throw typewriters through windows and run out the door and climb and stay up trees for days on end. It was shell shock, really. He was a great fellow. And his book, Adolf Hitler, My Part in His Downfall. Very, very funny book. Yeah, I like that book. Yeah, Spike Milligan. And on it, for his 80th birthday, I sent him one of my books because he was very much into animal welfare and rights. And I'd written a book for Element Penguin called Animals Make You Feel Better, which I thought Spike Milligan might like. So I sent him a copy of my book, signed it to Spike. He sent me a very nice letter back saying, "Thank you very much for my book. Best wishes, Spike." Yeah, I've got the letter somewhere. Anyway, this is one of Spike's songs, and it's very appropriate for the subject of Tales from the Jails, because this is Spike's Wormwood Scrubs Tango. I used to tramp the streets beneath the stars and knock off other geezers' motor cars. I used to flog 'em down the lane. I'd never heard of Wormwood Scrubs. One night a friendly rozzer noticed me fiddling round with an ignition key. He said, "You're just the bloke we need to fill a space in Wormwood Scrubs. Then he put his hand upon me wrist. I said, what's this? I shall resist. So with his arm he done the twist, and then he hit me in the nuts, and now I lie in bed and count the stars beneath a great big set of iron bars. I hear the motors going by, and here am I in Wormwood Scrubs. He put his hand upon me wrist. I said, what's this? I shall resist. So with me arm he done the twist, and then he banged me nuts, and now I lie in bed and count the stars beneath a great big set of iron bars. I hear the motors going by, and here am I in Wormwood Scrubs. There you go. Wormwood Scrubs Tango. Don't forget the book, folks. Tales from the Jails.